Hey guys, and welcome back to the Courageous Nerd YouTube channel for another interview. I'm Connor. Joining me today is Mano Diles and Johnny Dims from the band Mercury Messiah. If you enjoy this interview or others on the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. So welcome, Mano and Johnny, and thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. I guess before we kind of get into the conversation, if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourselves individually so those listening will know who's who.
Hey guys, my name is John.
Hey guys, my name's Mano.
Great, and thanks again for being here and taking the time. And I suppose, for anyone who doesn't know, you guys are the guitarist and vocalist, respectively, of Mercury Messiah, which is obviously a Canadian band, I should say. And obviously, you guys have a long history with each other, I believe. And I suppose, how did you guys first meet, and develop a bond prior to starting this group?
Well, so basically, what happened was we went to elementary school together.
Mm-hmm.
But then he left. He abandoned me halfway through elementary school.
Yeah. We also got bullied in elementary school together.
Yeah.
Bonding experience. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then we reconnected in high school, and we realized that we had both developed a mutual adoration for music, and so we bonded over that. And we also played hockey together as well for years. Yeah. Right, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Big on hockey.
Sure.
So it's a culture down there.
Yeah, it's the culture.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and from my understanding, obviously the lineup has changed since you originally started it, and the original lineup included other high school friends. But how different does the band's sound? How different is the sound from when you guys started to the current lineup?
Yeah. So at first the band started as like a hobby. Nothing to take serious. We got our buddies in, our high school friends, and it was great. We were all developing as musicians together, and then we actually wanted to get more serious and say, you know what, this is awesome. Let's do this for a living.
Yeah.
So then once things started getting more serious, we decided, it's time to find other guys that are more serious, and then the sound essentially evolved. And the sounds has changed quite significantly. We've became better musicians. The songs are also way harder than the original. So
yeah, we're tending to lean more into a classic / hard rock sound.
Okay.
With a bunch of elements across the board. We have songs that are folk, soft acoustic, and songs that are borderline metal. And so there's no limits.
Yeah.
Our music knows no limitations.
Exactly.
Yeah, so also that's quite interesting to hear then, that everyone in that original lineup was serious about pursuing music professionally, as opposed to some of you wanting to really go for it and some being that it's more of a hobby for them. Everyone was really invested, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For sure. And obviously, I guess any band is a component of individual components coming together. So what do your current fellow members and you have to correct me if I'm wrong here, I believe Alex and is it Corrado?
Yes.
Corrado. What do they bring to Mercury Messiah that had been missing previously before you found them?
Well, honestly, I'd say the dedication and the technicality of things as well. It's crazy when you start playing with other musicians. Each different musician brings different elements to it, and we found two musicians who are very fluid in their playing and that could actually adjust to different genres or different styles of music. And then when those sounds essentially come together, what you get is the sound of Mercury Messiah. So it's way easier experimenting with different sounds with these guys. Like our drummer Alex, for example, this guy just listens to jazz. This guy is like a jazz trained drummer.
Yeah.
And
he incorporates jazz into the rock.
You got salsa as well.
Cool.
He's brilliant. And Corrado loves pop rock, and there's this marriage between rhythmic sections, and it's
and vocal melodies.
It comes together, and it's very, very unique.
And not to mention that both Alex and Corrado are experienced on the technical side of recording and audio engineering.
Sure. Okay.
Corrado went to Vanney College in Montreal, and he got his audio engineering degree. So just their knowledge of how to record and so on. You know, it contributes a lot.
Me and John are useless when it comes to those things.
Yeah, we're more the songwriting unit, you know.
But we're getting
right.
better.
We are getting better.
Yeah, I mean, again, because it's only audio, those listeners don't have the benefit. But I see, Mano, you're wearing the Beatles like on your T-shirt. So I suppose then the obvious question is, who's Lennon and who's McCartney out of you two?
It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
I don't know. What would you say?
Honestly, I'd say I'm more Paul, but I have John's temper a lot.
Yeah, I'd say your personality is more John, and my personality is more Paul. But I think the roles like of the Beatles, I think I'm more John and he's more Paul, like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
It's
yeah, and obviously, you know, probably the most iconic songwriting duo of all time. So I think, yeah, absolutely, for sure. And I suppose go back to your own music, though. I believe you released a self-titled single at the end of October. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
Completely unpromoted.
Yeah.
It was just by surprise. Yeah, we dropped
for sure. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, in releasing this music, like, what were you most excited about, and like, how would you describe the single to anyone who's never heard of the band before?
Well, I would say that the self-titled single is, it represents the real essence of the band, both lyrically / thematically, in the meaning, and sonically as well.
Yeah,
you know, we tend to write our comfort zone. We tend to not really adhere to the limitations of time when writing a song. So basically, this song is pushing 7 minutes, 6.5 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
And so what we like to do is we like to take you on a journey. We like to, you know, take the listener on a journey and bring them someplace and make them question about their place in society, their life. You know, I think ultimately that's the goal of Mercury Messiah, is to make people question. Just don't remain complacent in where they are. That's kind of our ultimate goal.
Yeah, and actually something I hadn't thought of asking, because I mean, personally, I'm not, you know, involved in music myself. I can't sing, I don't play any instruments, but I suppose like any form of art, you want to have an element of like individuality and like not necessarily try to emulate someone else. But like, would you say, would you say there are any artists that you kind of look up to or think, you know, you kind of fall into a similar broad category as, well, not necessarily trying to copy what they're doing, you just kind of think in the same kind of sound, if that makes any sense?
Yeah, for sure. We have so many, you know, like people that we look up to, artists that we look up to, and major ones for us would be, you know, Led Zeppelin, Rush, the Beatles, and in our later years, we see what more modern artists are doing today, and you got to essentially just keep up with the time frame because music is ever evolving. So is the industry. So you could take what the legends did in the past, but you also have to see what people are doing today. And there's always something to learn. So you get inspiration like everywhere. But I'd say the core would be those three that I mentioned.
Yeah. So even as like individual artists, like you still be kind of looking up to bands, like even in an, like, you know, I mean, how to say it? I mean, even though obviously you're four individuals who are in a band, the artists that you guys look up to would still be bands anyway, kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. That's definitely interesting. And I suppose obviously you've got another single, right, that's scheduled for release in early 2022. I believe January 7th. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And like, what can you tell us about that?
Well, that song is a bit of a departure from our latest single, Mercury Messiah. It's kind of a longer, epic song. It's more formulaic and it has a pop rock feel to it. And it's one of our favorites. Like, we enjoy playing this song a lot. So we're just really excited for people to hear it, you know? It's fun, it's catchy, it's lighthearted, and there is meaning to it as well, you know? So
it's probably the more commercial song out of our songs but it just so happens to be like that, you know. We didn't intend for it to happen. It just like, oh, okay, well, there you go.
When we write a song, we don't like he said, we don't intend on making a specific song. Whatever comes out free. It just, that's what it is, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose then of the two singles, like, what was it about the one that you named Mercury Messiah that you wanted to put like the band's name on it? Like, is there anything about that in particular that inspired that decision?
Well, kind of touching up what I said before, just what we're trying to say, because you know we don't necessarily like to give away the exact meanings of why we do things. We like to remain
keep it vague,
a level of ambiguity to it, but I will say that, echoing what I was saying before, not remaining complacent and questioning authority and questioning society and the individual, the listener's place in society, you know?
Yeah.
That's ultimately, and we found that that song was one of the songs out of our music that represents
the whole idea of Mercury Messiah.
Yeah, the whole idea, exactly. From A to Z, right?
For sure. Yeah, and I suppose then obviously the singles, that's very exciting, you know, in your upcoming future, but are there any other like endeavors you can discuss at this time?
Well, at this moment, we have snipers on the other we can't divulge, but we will say that beyond singles, we have a show coming up January 7th to promote our single.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Along with our music video coming out for that single as well. We're gonna, you know, get that going.
Yeah.
So anyone listening, you know, pay attention and look out for those for sure.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, down the line we are looking to release a debut EP. Yeah, we won't exactly tell you when, but that's coming. That's in the pipeline.
Oh, you hurt me. You won't tell me exactly when.
Maybe when we're done recording, we'll tell you.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and obviously, I suppose, and I'm sure like you've been through it as well. Like when you're in elementary school, as you would call it, it's primary school over here, that you get asked what you want to be when you grow up. And I would say musician is probably one a lot of people would want to be, but very few actually get to do it. So like, what advice would you give to like maybe someone who wants to follow a similar path to what you've already taken?
Just stick through it and believe and stay consistent. That's what I would say.
There we go. And if you really want it, tunnel vision. That's it. You want that tunnel vision, do nothing but that, focus on it, and then eventually if you work hard enough, it may just happen.
I mean, then at least from what you've seen, like what do you think are like pitfalls that people fall into when they say like I want to be a singer or I want to be a songwriter, like and end up not going anywhere? Like what do you think people, you know, what ends up happening with those people, do you think?
I think it's a lack of belief in themselves. And it could also very well be adjacent to that, a lack of support system. You know, it's very hard when everyone around you is telling you you can't do it, right? But if you surround yourself with people that you know that encourage your development as an artist, it's easier to follow through with it.
Yeah, you need a positive atmosphere at all times.
Yeah,
you know?
And if you're in a negative atmosphere, then do something about it. You know, you get up and go and follow that, take it to the end. Yeah,
the amount of people that told us like that. We'd never be able to even like, and we haven't really gotten anywhere so far, but to still not even get to this part where we're at.
Absolutely. No, I mean, having two singles and like the amount of work that you're doing, that's probably a lot further than someone just sitting around saying, oh, you know, I've got a great voice, I could be a great singer, but you know, I'm here doing this instead. I mean, you've already gotten past hurdles that other people probably haven't. So I mean, fair play to you guys for doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you know the songs that are gonna be on our EP, some of the songs that are actually out too. We wrote these songs from ages 15 to 18 years old, and it's just now at 22 years old we're actually starting to release that and share that with the world, which is it's insane. It takes time. You know?
Years to hone your craft and find our individual voices. You know, through our instruments.
Yeah, I mean, again, like songs aren't something I'm as like well versed in as other like forms of art. But when you say you wrote something when you were 15, is it something that you'd like go back and like rework? Because obviously you would have grown and matured since you were 15 or, you know, 15, 18, right? I mean, is it something that obviously as your feelings or like point of view changes, does the song change?
Exactly. It's something that you do. You start it from start to finish and then you love it. And then you start getting better. Right, as the months go by, as the years go by, And then you listen to the song again and you're like, it's a great song, but like now I know this. I haven't released it yet. Why not add to it?
Yeah.
Right. So, unless it's, and Corrado always says this, and it's really opened my eyes to approaching it this way. It's never released until it's released.
Yeah.
Which is pretty
never
great.
never finished until it's released.
You know,
so we can always rework anything at any moment.
Yeah, and I know this approach of forms for like other forms of writing. I don't know about songwriting myself personally. Maybe you might be able to provide some insight, but like write what you know, and obviously, like for example, writing about experiences that you haven't gone through and kind of seeming inauthentic in it, right? I mean, do you tend to like reflect your own life experiences, or do you ever kind of imagine, well, this is what this theme might be like, but I haven't experienced it myself?
Well, I think it's an amalgamation of the two of them, two of those ideas, because for the most part we do usually write through our experiences, but you know, there's also a level of imagination, because right, if you're not using your imagination, are you really pushing your creative boundaries to the limit?
True.
Right?
That's right.
But the intention is to always be authentic, 100% authentic and real, and stay true to ourselves and our personalities, right? You know.
Absolutely. And I suppose actually just to wrap this up, this is my last question, and obviously we've been talking from a very like professional standpoint and like what you hope to achieve that way, but like, is there anything you guys hope to personally accomplish in 2022?
Honestly, just have the world listen to Mercury Messiah, hear our songs, get ourselves out there. We you know, we believe in it, we believe in ourselves, and we really want this to manifest it.
Yeah, exactly. We just, like he said, we want the world, we want to be exposed, you know, we want more exposure, and just to let our voices touch people. That's the ultimate goal, you know.
Well, I
because
mean,
we're in, you know, we're in this for the people, you know, like, yes, we are in it for ourselves, but you know, obviously you need money to survive in the world. But you know, we're not in it for the money, you know. And as cliche as that sounds, it's just true, you know.
We just want to affect people, just how like the artists that we love affected us. You know, like Rush and the Beatles literally changed my life.
Sure.
I want to you know, do that for others, because music is healing, you know. So if you can do that, that's all. It's magical.
Yeah, it is. Even to one person or 5 people, it's great. So we're just gonna keep you know, treading down the course and see where it's gonna take us. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, obviously, like, you know, musical artists on anything without people to listen to the music, and I mean, I've got every faith you guys will keep growing and growing, and you know, eventually people might come back to this, you know, years from now. Oh, this is before, you know, that they hit the big time, and you know, look at them back then, and you know, I've got every faith you guys will keep going on the rise. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
For sure. And I guess just to say, you know, thanks again for taking the time, and best of luck with like your ongoing endeavors with the band, and like whoever you got on personally. Yeah, just take care and stay safe. This has been great.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.